I don't think there's anything that's certain in the world at the moment. There's a lot that can change, there's a lot that can happen. And I think that is in the back of your mind every time I'm going into work.
Adult trauma, ETA 5 minutes.
Got an assault coming in. He's stabbed multiple times.
5-year-old hit by a car, dragged for 3 metres, degloved the right side of their scalp. Code red.
They're now saying partial amputation with a traumatic cardiac arrest.
This is just disastrous.
Travel by cow. I can't make that up.
Oh, it's a proper day today, isn't it?
St George's, London, one of Britain's busiest A&E departments, under more pressure than ever.
What are you doing?
It does sometimes feel like a battlefield, and it feels like a losing battle at times as well.
You need to calm yourself down.
I have 10 traumas and absolutely no space.
25-year-old jump from a 3rd floor balcony.
This is the point where we can make a difference.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
A place where life,
Best place to make friends, A&E.
love, and loss
Scariest thing in my life. I thought I lost it.
unfold every single day.
A life is not just a singular thing. Things that happen to you have a huge effect on the people around you as well.
You scare me so much, you know that?
All the patients you're about to see were treated in just one 24-hour period.
I see behaviour every day that reaffirms my belief in the inherent goodness of people.
It's all a bit of a shock, isn't it?
And I think I'm incredibly fortunate to work in that environment.
It's a lot to take in. He's the love of my life.
You have to keep a really open mind. You see all kind of circumstances. You have no idea what's happened to this person, and you always get patients that surprise you.
Resus can be incredibly frantic, and you can never know what's going to happen in the next even minute. You don't know who you're going to treat.
He's booked in as an unknown adult because we don't know his details.
Very often we will see patients unconscious and no idea of who they are and their background and identity.
An unaccompanied man has arrived at St George's after being found unconscious in the street.
Staff announcement, can we please book in an unknown adult trauma call?
So we don't know exactly how long he'd been unconscious for. Whoever called it in weren't there when we got there. When we first turned up, he was still on the ground.
So bring him in.
And you immediately realise that something serious has happened.
5, so down to the right, boom.
He had almost no memory of who he was. He couldn't remember if he had any kind of family. He couldn't remember anything about himself.
So let's transfer across and then give us a handover if that's okay. Yeah. Please.
We need to move.
Should we get a trauma mattress?
Get behind there.
Please.
We had to check his pockets for identification.
Ready?
We had no idea what's happened to this patient. He could have been assaulted, he could have been struck by a vehicle or being pushed by someone. You know, a loss of consciousness is no small thing.
Brilliant. So if you all listen to the handover, if that's okay, and just connect to our monitoring in the meantime.
He was found by members of the public on the street. Looked like he's fallen kind of face first into the driveway. Lying with a full of blood, about 200 mils. He has a very poor memory of himself, so he can't remember the event form, he can't remember the past kind of week, longer, and he doesn't remember his personal details. He doesn't think he's an epileptic, but he's
Any drugs or alcohol on board?
He says, I don't really know. So he's got a bruise to his left eye, it looks like he's had a nosebleed, and he's 4 vertebral dentures, and we think they've been knocked out.
Okay. Can we have 3 people either side? I'll go at the top end.
Every case that we see is like a puzzle and sort of act like a detective where you have to pull out the information. There's such a huge spectrum of problems that may have caused the collapse, from the very simple and benign to the most worrying and life-threatening. So from somebody unfortunately having a cardiac arrest to significant accidents, or it could be self-inflicted, through use of drugs or alcohol.
Just shout out your findings there.
Airways, Peter. Nice deep breath for me, please.
But when somebody has collapsed, especially with significant injury to the face, I would automatically step back and think, this is not just a simple collapse. Because instinctively, most people would have that reaction to put their hands out to protect themselves.
Okay. So team, the plan is we'll do routine bloods. We're going to give for pain relief. Can you request CT head, facial bones and neck?
It's a lot harder to treat somebody who has absolutely no recall of what's happened.
Just breathe normally. I'm just popping a mask around your nose, okay?
So we need to make sure we don't miss anything that could cause fatal consequences.
You will be a bit freezing inside, Chris.
50-year-old Chris was brought into resus after being found unconscious in the street.
Ready, steady, slide.
He needs an urgent CT scan of his head so doctors can try to find out what may have caused his collapse.
Keep nice and still now, Christopher. We'll be done in 2 minutes.
Hospital staff have so far been unable to contact his family.
Don't move.
I couldn't ask for a better dad. I think my mum was a lot stricter than he was, so if I wanted something, I'd definitely always go to my dad, because he was always a bit of a pushover.
He started off as a carpenter, and then he got into property development. The house that we lived in was built by my dad when we were younger. It was 3 bedrooms. I remember we had a conservatory and a really big garden, and had a windy house.
I remember all the Christmases we had. Oh, we had the tackiest decorations you could ever imagine. Tinsel everywhere, a massive tree. We went really overboard.
Okay, Christopher, we're all finished.
I think I was 3 at the time, and for Christmas I wanted a rocking horse, and I went to bed and I could hear my dad go out the front door and into the garage, so I just ran down. I looked round into the garage, and he was getting this rocking horse out, and he'd obviously got it out at night to work on it while I was asleep, and he carved it all. It's pretty amazing, actually. I remember my dad being so angry with me when I saw it before, because he probably must have worked in it for so long. But yeah, no, I was absolutely made up with it.
Christmas has always been so special. And it was lovely when we could all spend it together.
What did he do? We're not sure what happened, to be honest. He was just found on the street, confused, had vomited with a head and facial injury.
I just can't imagine life without my dad at all. We're so close. I can't believe we didn't talk for those years.
Can I have something to eat? I'd be starving and you haven't given me anything.
This isn't gonna fill you up, is it?
It's gonna fill my taste buds. That's rude. Where's mine?
Emergency department reception.
Must be hard working behind a desk and all. Put some pure hours in, wouldn't you? You can't afford to mess that up either. It's swelling quite a lot now as well, isn't it? Oh, I hope to God it ain't broke.
29-year-old Rick has come into A&E with his girlfriend Emily after injuring his foot at the gym.
See what happens when you try and do cardio.
Should I have nails before we go?
What's wrong with my toenails, mate?
Should you have a hobbit there?
Well, growing up, I wanted to be a footballer. That was it. I was always, well, I want to be David Beckham or Ryan Giggs or someone like that, you know. When it became pretty apparent that that wasn't going to happen. Come on, call my name. Call it. I wasn't the smartest, but I was energetic, you know. I liked PE as every boy does, really. What?
What are you to say?
Have you got enough pennies for a can of Diet Coke?
Should I go get it for you?
No. Okay. I grew up with a lad whose dad was in the army, so he was going that way. And he came and picked me up from work one afternoon where I was 17. He said, I've signed on, you know, I'm doing it. He said, why didn't you do it? And I thought, do you know what? All right then, why not? So we drove straight down there that afternoon. I thought, what have I done? That's why I hate hospitals as well. I spent far too much fucking time with them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice that you're here with me. I've never had that before, but still. My first day of basic training, I got dropped off by the taxi outside the front gate. I had a big duffel bag on my back. I remember I was wearing a pair of tracksuit bottoms and an England shirt, thinking I was the boy. And I walked up to the office, and essentially I was greeted with a finger straight in my face, someone yelling at me at the top of their voice. And he told me not to walk, we don't walk around here. So I just ran to where he told me to go to and didn't look back.
You've only been in here like 40 minutes.
Nah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. It just drains the life out, doesn't it? I deployed to Iraq when I was 19. I was in the deep end, and I thought, what's the worst that can happen?
I'm very hungry. You must be very hungry as well. I didn't even get to bring my bag of almonds with me.
3-year-old Marigold is in A&E with her mum Helen and carer Jackie.
Polly had a dolly who was sick, sick, sick.
She suffers from a genetic condition that makes her more prone to illness and is showing signs of a chest infection.
Marigold.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I always, when I was young, knew I wanted a family. I think it comes when you were part of a happy family. You just, you know, I wanted that. I had a lovely mum, and I think I had a wonderful childhood, and a lot of the things I find myself doing with my children now, I'm doing because she did them with me.
My name's Chris, I'm one of the doctors. So, what's been going on?
About Sunday, she's got runny nose. Then yesterday, started to go off her food. We are getting up to 24 hours now with no fluid, which is a bit of a worry. So we took her to the doctor because her breathing was quite rapid, and she seemed very flushed and hot. Because of her genetic condition, I think she's just very susceptible to these viruses.
All right, Princess. Hiya.
She's not happy to be back here.
Please.
My mum passed away 10 years ago.
You're being so brave.
Very suddenly when she was 71, and, you know, I do really miss her, because there are some times when only your mum will do.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. She says no.
Good girl.
But I think what losing my mum made me realise is there were lots of values that I held very dear in her about the kind of person she was, and I thought, I want to meet someone who is like her, someone that she'd have said, oh, he's lovely. When I did meet my husband, I was like, this is the person. I met Marigold's father, Sunil, my husband, when I was about 31.
All right, go on, look at you crunch those teeth together.
It was great, and our life was about working and about socialising. We worked hard and we played hard.
I think this is a viral illness. Everything about it says that. We'll give her a go with some drinking. Yeah. We're actually probably going to have to put a little bit of oxygen on her at the minute. Yeah. Get some help.
Ham and smoked mozzarella flatbread. Yeah, no missing. Oh, mate, got to try that.
Is it good?
Yeah. Good choice.
Richard.
Fuck no, fire. I wasn't sure what to expect. I think the first time it hit me that I'm in Iraq was on the Hercules. We're coming into Basra airspace. Because of the risk of getting fired at, all the lights went off, and then essentially it's pitch black. Even the pilots then fly in just with a night vision on. So then it was body armour on, helmet on, you know, you're shaking a little bit thinking, oh God, this is getting real. Hello. The plane's going all over the place, and it's so strange because you can't make sense of where you are. So you think, what's going on? Are we getting shot at? What's happening? And then the next thing I know, there's a huge bump, and I think, what's that? All of a sudden, we screech to a halt, the back doors fly open, it's like, right, off. Okay, this is real, I'm in Iraq now. You know, it's boiling hot, what do I do, where do I go, it's pitch black. You know, and that's when I thought, right, I've got to take this seriously now. You know, it's not fun and games anymore. Thank you. It was nerves, real big nerves. I can remember my stomach was knotting, definitely.
I'm Pauline, one of the nurse practitioners. How can I help you today?
So I was on a spin bike yesterday morning, and I got this foot, well, it slipped out of the pedal and got trapped between the bike frame and the pedal.
Okay. Was it trapped around here?
Yeah, so that's where the pedal went in, and then my whole foot and ankle sort of went over, and then come back on itself again.
So where is the pain more severe?
Well, if I try and bend my toes, it comes underneath my foot, sort of down the middle, but then, well, exactly where that bruising is, yeah. It's swollen slightly, but, and on the top of my toe there as well.
Did you ice it at all?
Yeah. Yeah, that last metatarsal down there is a bit quite sore.
Okay.
We deployed to Afghanistan at the beginning of 2012.
You know, if I press there, it will be painful,
horrendous,
so be
just
careful.
there.
Any pain when you push there?
Between me and the officer commanding, we were leading 14 men, and we'd been tasked basically to clear a route, but get down to a compound of interest at the bottom of this route. So I can get my foot up and my toes sort of stay where they are.
Mm-hmm.
But we get halfway down this track, you know, Brownie is my front man. He's searching, and he says to me, Rick, I think I've seen something. Imagine a big speed hump in the track, if you will. You know, and I go into action of, okay, what is it? What does it look like? Put your grid in, your location, what it is you found. So then basically the engineers can come out and clear that route for you. No sooner did we do this than me and my friend sort of turned away from each other to carry on with what we were doing, and then just boom. You know, just dust, black, bit of heat, just ringing in my ears. I didn't know what was going on. At that point, I heard the screams coming from Brownie, and I soon realised what actually happened.
What I'll do an X-ray just to make sure it's not broken,
Okay.
and then we'll take it from there. Completely sure it's fine.
There was still a dust cloud there. I couldn't quite see him. It was only then when I stood up and I got above what was on the ground, then I could see him. It just looked like someone had taken a sledgehammer to him. You are supposed to wait because basically if there's one, there's going to be another one, IED in the ground. But I didn't think about that. I just ran. I ran straight to Brownie and started initiating first aid to him. And I remember so vividly what time it was because I had to write on Brownie's cheek in black pen, M for morphine, and the time it was given. So I wrote 0913 on his cheek. And I started running with Brownie on the stretcher. And Neil, another guy, said to me, Rick, you know, you're right, you're on top of that. I said, I'm fine, I'm fine. It's only then when he said it, and my brain just sort of switched. It's like, you're not fine. And I just collapsed.
Down to the end of the corridor, turn left again. As you turn left, you see the X-ray.
Left X-ray. Thank you.
Hi, Chris. Hi, it's Ahmed here again. My colleagues have had a look at your scan. Unfortunately, you've broken multiple bones of your face. Okay, so I'm going to speak to the facial bone specialist for them to come and see you, okay?
Doctors have received Chris's CT results, but are still unsure what may have caused him to collapse and fall face first in the street.
Let's get on top of your pain a little bit, okay? And then I'll come back to you in a bit, okay, Chris? Cheers, fella.
Be sick again.
Okay. If you just gently turn yourself over to this side. There you go, mate. Okay. Just relax as you are, okay? You're all right, fella.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Are we allowed, do you know on the monitors, are you allowed to go through his ECG again in time? I don't know if he had runs of unusual rhythm then. Yeah. I'll go and ask Marco to have a look. Because he had a collapse and he's not sure why.
Your heart is a muscle, which role is to pump blood around the body here.
And what time was that?
Like literally about a minute. Can you scroll in time?
A heart rhythm that has gone abnormal can cause that pumping mechanism to completely fail.
Yeah, just little runs of broad spec, and he wasn't moving, so it's not artifact. So that could explain why he collapsed. Chris, have you ever collapsed like this before, previously?
Yeah.
Yeah? When was that?
4 years ago.
Yeah?
I had CT scan, and they couldn't find what was happening.
Yeah, because while you've been here, I've just noted just for a couple of seconds, your heart goes into a slightly different rhythm, which can make people collapse. Is there anybody you want us to let know you're here, or?
My daughter, please.
Your daughter.
It was quite a sunny day. I was walking along the river in Kingston, and then I got a call from my dad. So I stopped to answer it, and then it was someone from A&E, and they were like, "Oh, we've got your dad here. He's had an accident." My heart sank. I called up my sister, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll get on the bus straight away and come meet you." It just didn't hit me at all how bad it would be.
So I'm going to send all these tracings of your heart to the heart specialist. Once I've got a little bit more information, I'll come back and give you an update and tell you what's going on, all right?
Thank you.
All right. I'll catch up with you in a bit, all right?
The worst case scenario is if somebody has an undiagnosed heart problem and he develops a fatal rhythm which is incompatible with life and causes a cardiac arrest.
Quite nice in here, though, isn't it?
No, it's good. Jolly people everywhere.
Oh my God! What did you just do?
Put the fan on.
That.
What do you think? It was a spider?
I don't know.
Do you know what? I would love to just put this over your mouth because it would really top you up. No. You sure?
Doctors are concerned that Marigold's chest infection may be affecting her ability to breathe and have decided to monitor her oxygen levels.
Look! Here's the fish.
Wow. Now that is something. I've never seen the fish tube before.
No. And it's magical. Marigold! Are you looking? Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
So I watch. Meeting your baby for the first time it's incredible. It is one of the best moments in your life. It is. They pull Marigold out and she just screamed. She was so angry. She was just this little kind of red thing screaming, which is wonderful because that's all you want to hear. All you want to hear is your baby's cry.
Probably worth us getting a chest X-ray just to make sure that this isn't an underlying infection.
Yeah, OK. Right, listen, we're just going to go and have a chest X-ray. All right, darling, we won't be long. Looking back, with the value of hindsight, there were so many little things that were pointing towards her having health and developmental issues. And she was kind of really suffering from a cold. There we go. We used to call her the little truffle pig because she was in her Moses basket.
What's this? Shall we come here?
And I've been quite blasé about it. I've been like, it's fine, it's a cold. And then it was the Sunday night and Snill's trying to feed her. He got most of the bottle in her and then she started gasping for breath. And then I just heard it getting worse and worse. And then she just went blue. And then she just collapsed. You're just filled with adrenaline and panic and you can't believe it's happening. I do remember saying to Snill, we've lost her. We've just lost her. Come on, sweet. Thank you.
Doctors will now study Marigold's X-ray results to find the cause of her infection.
Hello, A&E? Is that cardiology? Oh, hi, it's Ahmed in research. I've got a 50-year-old man. He came in as a collapse.
Doctors are referring Chris to a cardiologist after spotting an irregular heart rhythm, which may have caused him to collapse.
Hi. Christopher, are you together, you two? Yeah. Do you mind to come with me?
Chris's daughters, Lucy and Molly, have arrived from their home in southwest London.
I was thinking, expect the worst, because at this point I kind of had realised this was a lot more serious than I thought.
Grace, I have two beautiful girls in here to see you. You can. I know it doesn't look the best picture. There's obviously some small fractures in the face, but there's a little bit of change in the heart, which we don't really know what happens. So whatever needs to be done, it will be done. It's okay. It's good to cry. Okay?
It It was my mum who broke it to us. I was about 6 or 7, and I just remember my mum coming in from work and she said, everyone go in the living room. So me and my brother and my sister went in the living room. And my dad was really upset, and my mum was really upset, and they just said, we're getting a divorce. I think me and my brother both didn't really know much about divorce or anything like that, but my sister definitely took it really badly.
It was always arranged that my brother and sister would go and stay with him every other weekend, and I just never went.
I'm just gonna...
Should we go that way?
No, just where your eyes down to this side, my patient. Oh.
He would always try and message me and say, oh, I'd love to see you, I miss you, I love you. And I just never messaged back because I was angry.
He's not allowed to drink as yet. You can give him some sponges and he can try to suck from there very gently, okay?
Okay. I think at 16 it was probably a bad age for it to happen because you already think the world's against you. He never ever made me feel like he didn't care. My mum kind of persuaded me sometimes to get back in touch with him, but I think I need to make that decision. So she always said to me, he's your dad and he loves you. No one else is going to be your dad.
Cardiologists have asked the team in Resus to conduct another tracing of Chris's heart.
My name's George, one of the other doctors. So what they want us to do is give you a medication to try and work out what rhythm it is that your heart's in at the moment, OK? So it's all in through the veins, it doesn't hurt, but the medication makes you feel a bit funny. It makes you feel what we call something called impending doom, OK? Essentially, it stops your heart for about a second. We have you hooked up to the cardiac monitor. Nothing's ever happened when I've done it to anybody else before.
Because the flow of blood through the heart is dependent on electrical activity, stopping part of that conduction can help us reveal what the underlying problem is.
I'm just going to put this on you, all right?
Lucy, you wait outside. Yeah, we give you a call as soon as we finish, okay? Be fine.
Stephen, I'm just going to give you the medication, all right? We're here. Meds are going in now.
You squeeze my hand if you need, okay?
That drug can make patients feel incredibly unwell.
That's all in.
In the textbooks, it's notoriously written as feels like the patient's about to die.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to call you. He came in and they think it's something wrong with his heart, so he's having those things, I don't know what they're called.
The radiographers are taking an X-ray. Okay, if you swing your feet up onto the bed.
Rick has been sent to X-ray to establish if he's broken any bones in his foot after an accident in the gym.
Whereabouts are you getting sort of issues?
Top of my big toe there, up to around here. Just well, pretty much where the bruising is. I didn't lose my leg initially.
Hold nice and still.
I had 16 operations to try and save my leg, but things just weren't working, and my left leg, essentially below the knee, or from the knee, was absolutely no good. It was dying away. So I sat down with my consultant, and that's when the amputation became apparent, which was in 2015. The main thing I struggled with was mentally. It was a big adjustment for me from going essentially from being part of a team that was leading those men and being in control to someone getting me into the shower and out of the shower and helping me off the toilet. Definitely did make me think I was less of a man. So for a long time you beat yourself up about that, which just makes things worse.
Hopefully that's the last one.
Thanks, mate.
Check this and I can't speak to you in a minute.
No worries, thank you. On top of that, there was an element of PTSD. I didn't know who I was, what I was doing, you know, why I was doing things, and I just wasn't a nice person to be around, I'll admit that. But I couldn't, at the same time, see a way out of where I was. It was a very, very dark spiral of self-hatred almost.
Oh, you're beeping right down again, are you? Has she fallen asleep? She has. Yeah.
Doctors are waiting for the results of Marigold's X-ray to determine the cause of her infection.
How was Sunil?
It sounded quite stressed. Oh, no. Also because the phone keeps cutting out, so I can't really talk to him. When Marigold was admitted to the hospital the week she got her genetic diagnosis, we met with lots of people, and then they said we need to do some tests. Because I think they could see that there were some things there that made her a little bit different. What's it going to be, Marigold? Are they going to admit us for the night? I remember Sunil saying to me, I think they're going to find something. Come on, come and sit. Come and sit with me. And the next day they came back and said, we have found something. Not very peaceful breathing, is it? Marigold was diagnosed with trisomy 3q11 mosaicism. I think the simplest way I can describe it is it's like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, and Marigold has a few extra pieces. So she has some extra genetic material in some of her cells, and that does send confusing messages to her brain, and that does mean that she is delayed in aspects of her development, and that does lead to health implications as well. All right then, well, safe journey home. Thank you so much for staying. No worries. Even though she wasn't meeting milestones, she had a lot of health and development issues. In my head, I didn't really accept it, I would say, for the first year.
The results of Marigold's X-ray are unclear. Doctors have decided to give her intravenous antibiotics to fight the infection.
You feel very vulnerable and very isolated because with a unique genetic condition, who do you have? I'm so lucky that I've got a very calm, supportive husband. We're a team in this, and he is my rock. And I couldn't do it without him. Right, let me pour porter.
Marigold will be taken to a ward for further monitoring.
Teddy. You know, it is really challenging. I would be lying if I didn't say sometimes I do think, oh, what would it be like to have a typically developing child without all these challenges? But I'm so thankful for everything she is rather than everything she isn't, if that makes sense. Here I am. Oh. Here we go. Oh, I'll let you go first, darling.
Okay, Mom.
Cardiologists have arrived to conduct an ultrasound of Chris's heart to check for abnormalities that may have caused his irregular pulse.
He had a similar episode twice before, several years ago.
I think he called me one day and said about the seizures and everything, and at this point they were investigating his brain. He was like, I have to go for more scans. And at that point, the fact that I cared about him overruled everything that I was angry about before. And then I was like, oh, I'm coming with you. And then from then on, we became really close. And I ended up moving in with him, and I lived with him for 5 years.
okay if I try to do a quick scan of the heart now? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Telling my dad I was pregnant that I was really nervous about. I told my mum the day that I found out, and then I think I might have waited like 2 weeks to tell my dad. And I called him and I was just like shaking. I was like, Dad, I just wanted to tell you Carl and I are gonna have a baby. And he was like, why didn't you tell me? I think he just always wanted me to focus on my career as a hairdresser. He'd always ask me when I was pregnant, are you gonna go back to work? You're gonna go back to work, aren't you? Which was always my plan anyway, but I think he was just worried that I would become a housewife and lose my identity. And when Lennox was born, he straight away absolutely loved him. He'd come and see Lennox every day. He was really supportive.
So, what we believe you've got is a problem with the electrical wiring of the heart, okay? So, this is something we don't really know for sure what exactly is going on. So, we are going to do another test and we'll try to fix it straight away, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Chris will be taken to a cardiology ward where specialist doctors will carry out further tests on his heart.
I love you, Dad.
Chris, I've finished. I'm in tomorrow, so I might try and pop in and see how you're doing. Okay. Well, good luck with everything, okay?
Thank you. I think because of having to treat a huge spectrum of different people from all sorts of different circumstances, and very often we don't know what those circumstances are, it's really important that we have an open mind and not fall into the trap of sort of judging people, so to speak.
I'm going to bring you up to the ward, okay?
You know, everybody's got their own history, and I think that's what's really nice and beautiful about working in A&E, because you get to meet so many different people and appreciate that.
Hello.
Hello, you okay? Come through.
The medical team have received the results of Rick's X-ray.
So the area where it's tender is along this bone and here. It looks all clear. There's no fractures at all.
Okay.
So what you need to do is just regular painkillers, icing, elevating, and then give it time to settle down. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks to heal completely.
Yeah.
But it gradually gets better.
At least we know that.
Yeah,
That's the main thing, isn't it? No worries.
Perfect.
That's
Thank
fine,
you.
yeah. Thank you very much. All right.
That's fine. Take care.
Perfect.
Have a good night.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
I count my lucky stars that, obviously, one, I'm here, but two, that I actually did get hit, because I learned a lot more about myself. I've retrained as now a personal trainer. You know, I've met Emily. I met Emily at the beginning of this year. She's absolutely nothing to do with the military, but I met her at an army function. There's something about her straight away that caught my eye. But the way she was with me when she approached me, she made me feel so comfortable immediately. Oh, it's all going off. So we hit it off straight away that evening, and I just never ever wanted to let that lie, so I didn't.
Was it love at first sight?
Definitely love at first sight, yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt.
You're very dramatic though, aren't you?
If I've learned anything, is to not be unhappy just to survive. If you want something and you believe in it, go and get it. let's have as much fun as we possibly can whilst we're here, make the most of it.
It's hard to see someone that you think of as strong in a vulnerable position. It's really hard to think of him like that.
Lennox? Look what I found.
My accident hasn't taken over my life. If anything, it's changed my life for the better to appreciate everything that I have. Even just the thought of not surviving it and leaving my kids is huge. My kids are my world. I'm very proud of them and I love all of my time with them, and always will, always will.
Hello, St George's.
Adult priority, 4 minutes.
What is it? 31-year-old just had an onset of headache and confusion.
Young person, sudden onset headache, collapse, unresponsive. It could be a bleed or an infection. In some cases, a tumour or a mass within the brain.
Open your eyes, me.
Oh, God. That's not good.